Hey folks, I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
Welcome back to the cabin.
Nice to see you again.
If it's your first time visiting, we're here on our 40 acres of unorganized land here in Ontario, Canada. We have a completely off-grid cabin and a homestead which is partially on-grid.
And today we're sharing what's been going on around the property.
Right here on Cabin Life. Well, we really have been enjoying the summer. It's been an amazing summer, really. And we haven't had much rain, but just enough to keep things green. And however, there's the heat wave has been unreal. It's been really hot this summer. It's made sleeping a little bit uncomfortable in the hot, muggy nights, especially with sleeping in the cabin. There's no air conditioning other than you open up the windows, right? And you get things cool enough through the night, and then by about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun starts to get up and over the trees. You gotta shut the windows and keep it cool in there for the rest of the day.
Well, it sure does stay cool in the cabin, which is nice because outside, along with the humidity and the heat, we're also getting a lot of that smoke from all the forest fires out west and in other parts of Canada.
So it's made cooking kind of difficult inside. I know you don't like having the stove on, and we haven't used the wood stove. We haven't had any outdoor fires because of the high risk of a forest fire danger, and so it's made things a little bit different for us this summer. We've had the barbecue going though, so it's nice to have the propane barbecue and the luxury of that. So locally here, while there hasn't really been many weather-related events this summer, we had a tail end of a tornado that blew through, and we had some trees that had to come down. Other than that, not too much. I mean, certainly nothing like the global effects of the shock waves that resulted from the earthquake that happened up in Russia, I believe. It was a big one. That sent tsunami warnings all over the globe to all the coastal countries, and so that's pretty extreme. We haven't had anything like that. We're here on the Canadian Shield. It's a pre-Cambrian shield and ancient rock, kind of the crust of the earth. We don't get a lot of earthquakes or shock waves. We get a few, but not too much.
Well, speaking of shock waves, I went shopping the other day for coffee. Like, we need our coffee, right? Breakfast time. And it used to be around $8 or $10 for a can of coffee, and it's up to $25 a can. I came home and I told Glenn we have to start thinking about alternative ways to enjoy a beverage during the day. Like, coffee is maybe more of a luxury pretty soon.
She was pretty happy when she found coffee for $20 on sale, I think it was. So yeah. I said, well, maybe should we just start switching to tea? Surely loose leaf tea would be a good deal, right? Well, we enjoy chamomile tea and, sleepy time kind of a tea sometimes, mint tea.
Mint tea would be a good idea for saving money because we have mint in our garden. It has taken over the garden quite a bit this year, so we'd be able to harvest it.
What about the chamomile? You did a price check on that, did you not?
Chamomile, it ends up being that loose leaf chamomile tea is more expensive than the coffee. It's only $2 an ounce, but by the time you look at how much you use compared to coffee, it ends up to being quite a bit much more.
So we've got lots of mint, so we could save some, I suppose, having, some alternative tea time instead of coffee. I want my morning coffee though. I need one to wake up and then one to start the engine.
Well, I don't think I would ever suggest us not having coffee in the morning. That's a staple in our household.
Yeah, gotta have, right? What about you? Gotta have your coffee? Say, gotta have it in the comments. That's good coffee, Maureen.
And if you have any alternatives to coffee, what are they? Let us know, so it could be something new for us to try out.
Yeah. At one point, I was picking chaga off the trees. Now, we don't have many white birch here on this property. We ground that up. We dried it and ground it up, and it's okay. I mean, I don't consider it, personally, I don't consider it a coffee substitute. Some do, and they like it. And I have had a few cups of that. and it was okay. Really a nice evening, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful out.
I like it. They were getting a little canopy overhead of us, so the trees are growing in, and over top here makes for a nice, cool, shady spot through the heat of the day, eh?
Yeah. Nice. It's a little bit romantic going over going under.
Yes, folks, romance is still alive. So, the garden has been doing okay this year.
Got some squash in it, which are growing really good, and some cherry tomatoes to enjoy, and then mostly the peppermint. It took over the garden, so it's requiring a lot of work to get it back up to putting other plants in it. They have some garlic, yeah, and some peppers. We got some nice pepper plants.
Yeah, and some hot peppers and regular green peppers, and you got your cucumbers, and
yeah, cucumbers. Speaking of cucumbers, we have cucamelons. Have you ever seen cucamelons? They're from Mexico. They're a cross between cucumbers and watermelons.
We're on the latter half of the summer now, but you can see, you know, the grass is behind us. They're not all dried up and brown yet by any means. The berries have come in quite nice. Last week of July, raspberries came in, and red, ripe, plump raspberries. It was just awesome.
We had some blackberries until someone decided to go crazy scything and chopped a lot of them down, but we still do have some. I was surprised at how much longer it takes for blackberries to ripen than raspberries. So we'll get some yet.
I thought I was doing her a favor clearing out the bushes around the edges of the garden.
And then he found out that the edges of the garden was actually the blackberry garden.
So there's still lots of work to be done around the homestead and the off-grid cabin. There's wood to chop, still stacking a few of the piles, but we do have a good supply of wood now, and with the wood shelters, that'll ensure that it will stay dry. Nice and neat. I like that.
Yeah, and it's nice that now we're into the later part of the season. The mosquitoes aren't so bad
Well,
anymore.
the mosquitoes aren't too bad for you, eh?
No.
Oh.
No, they haven't carried me away yet.
No, well, I wouldn't want them to bug you and have you move back to the city.
No. I'll stay here with the mosquitoes.
It's a running joke. The chickens are doing well. They're quite happy. When we got the chickens, we only got 5 this time. Thought that would be enough for egg laying, right?
Yeah.
And so we decided, well, we'll do with the 5 chickens. One was just a little bigger than all the rest of them, and we noticed that her comb was coming in kind of red, and red underneath there early as well. We ended up naming it Charlie for some reason, but turned out a couple weeks later that comb was a bright red, and Charlie is a rooster.
Yeah, we have a he.
Yeah, so Charlie is looking after his 4 girls. He's a little bit aggressive sometimes, but not too bad. He seems to have taken a shine to you, Maureen.
A little bit of a shiny. He fluffs up in the morning when I let them out of the coop and does a little dance for me.
Yeah.
I've been trying to film it, but it always, when I put the camera on, I guess he's camera shy. But he's really nice. He's an effervescent green color, like an emerald green.
Yeah.
No eggs from the chickens yet, though.
I like watching the chickies. It's kind of fun watching them just do their thing. They scrounge. We had them, free ranging, and we have a run for them as well. If we have to leave for a while, we don't let them free range out in the open. There's too many critters, too many predators out here that would probably take advantage of them. Although touch wood, we've been lucky so far. Yeah. Not so lucky in the past. We have had an experience with the predators on a past group of chickens that we had. What's a group? Group of chickens? What?
A cluck of chickens.
A cluck of chickens?
A cluck of chickens.
A clutch?
Cluck.
Is it a clutch of chickens?
A cluck.
A flock?
A cluck.
A clock.
A cluck of chickens? A flock of chickens?
Them clucking chickens. We count our blessings every day. here on the property, and we are really enjoying our retirement years. We are getting older now, and things take a little longer for us to do the things that we like to do, and which is okay, right? So
It's okay. And now we're planning too. We start planning a little bit sooner in the season for the next season, like getting the garden ready for next year. Getting the firewood in for the winter and starting getting everything ready because it won't be too long before around the corner the next season's coming.
those windows of opportunity open quickly and close just as quickly, so you got to get her done while you can, right? Oh, the other thing was our creek levels around here are quite down from previous years. And now actually a bit of a problem for me with the creek level that runs down from our property and downstream. And in order to keep things so they don't flood in the spring, it's important to keep the culverts along the roadsides clear of any debris and all that kind of a thing. And in the past, they'd been kind of clogged up. So last year, I decided in the late fall, I'd make sure that everything was no debris in the way at all, so that when the snows came and then the ice froze everything, that the water wouldn't be up and frozen solid in those culverts, so that in the spring when the water melts and we get torrential rain and all this, the water has nowhere to go because the ice has already clogged up the culverts. So by clearing all that away, getting the water levels down, let the water go through and downstream in the late fall, we saved ourselves a lot of headaches and problems this spring, which was a great year for runoff, and it's been fantastic. Right now the creek's at its lowest level that we've seen yet, so there's no danger of floods, and it'll probably be nice and dry through this fall, and we'll have a good melt off spring next year as well, with the culverts being free and clear.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll save us a lot of work.
Yeah, I know for a lot of folks that are living along the shorelines and whatnot of our Great Lakes, even Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, I think is down
The
this
water
year.
levels are quite a bit down. I was at one of the beaches on Georgian Bay, and I was surprised at how low the water level is.
How's it going around where you are? That you notice that your lake is that the levels are down or up? There's a cycle that happens. Just because it's down this year or next year doesn't mean it'll continue to go down. We've seen Georgian Bay over a 40-year, no, maybe less than that, maybe a 20-year period where the cycle goes up and down, and as much as what, 4 or 5 feet difference,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So sometimes you see the docks way out there, and they're almost covered in water. And other times you see the same docks way out there, and you're getting down walking on sand. So it looks like we're getting into a nice, beautiful sunset tonight. Clear skies, and I know the torrential rains will probably be coming soon enough because it has been so dry. And for those that are familiar with what we call the Froggy Pond, here it is behind us. We're down at the Froggy Pond and towards the low part of our property. And you can see that there's not really any water to speak of in the Froggy Pond. And that gives us an indication throughout the year how things are doing. And that just verifies, things are quite dry right now. So, but soon enough, we'll show you what happens after the torrential rainstorm and keep you posted on the Froggy Pond now that you know that it's here. That's our Froggy Pond. We got lots of projects on the go. By all means, please subscribe. We do appreciate your comments. We appreciate you following along. Hit that like button if you will. And we will see you next time right here on Cabin Life. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
We'll see you next time. Over and out.
Take care.